it's a test. At the same time, it's what I call psychological torture. Some people are ignorant like that. They think that the hostile environment is actually great for the country, but it's not. Because if you put people on the streets and force them to do certain things that they shouldn't do or normally would do, what does that say about society? You know, I have a few female friends who are in my situation. They've got to do things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy or anyone. It's this hostile environment pushes females into exploitation, into sexual exploitation, into prostitution. You know, it's not good. It's absolutely terrible. What does that say about the society?
Glasgow Night Shelter has got 24 beds and they're available to men who've been made homeless by the Home Office and by Serco. But we're full, so there's no slack. That means that people who are made homeless in the coming weeks won't necessarily have anywhere to go. We're working really hard to try and identify more spaces in the city, but right now there's no spaces at the night shelter.
I was made destitute in 2010, homeless, everything. I had nothing, absolutely nothing. I went to the Red Cross for help. I went everywhere, but it's only menial support they can help you with, you know. I moved around, stayed with friends, but that wasn't even the best part because living rough, I contracted tuberculosis, pulmonary tuberculosis. And I found that out when I arrived in Scotland a month later. Before I knew about the night shelter, at first I slept in Glasgow Green for about 2 nights. That was tough. That was real tough. But then I found out about the night shelter. Went to the night shelter. I stayed there for a little bit. And then a friend of mine realized, long-time friend said, listen, you're staying there, you can't go to come stay with me. So I went to stay with him for about a year. Hopefully in January get my third fresh claim going. Because I just want my life back, you know. I just want my life back. I've not been allowed to work for all this time. Why? It doesn't make sense, you know. If I was allowed to work, I would be able to support myself, pay my own legal fees, pay my own rent, alleviate the pressure from the system. But it's just the way it is.
It's very difficult to elicit sympathy for people who are regarded as other. What the hostile environment does is to isolate asylum seekers anyway and regard them as a population who can't work, who can't claim benefits. So they're in the community, but it's actually difficult for them to engage with the community because they're living on a very low income level. And so rumours start, and myths start, and why have they got a bus pass and why this and why that. And the separation of people it very much fosters this idea that those people aren't like us. And then when people are made destitute because their asylum case is refused, the simplistic explanation from the Home Office is, well, they've had their chance, they should go home. Very difficult to argue against that without getting into the intricacies of the asylum system. And so it's very easy for society to reject this group of people.
Just take a look around at the world. What's happening in the world? We don't leave our countries here for the fun of it. We leave because there's a situation that's happening that we cannot survive in. I come from a former British colony, Zimbabwe. When the British came to my country, they came with guns and Bibles. We had no choice. When I came here asking for help, I was told I was a liar. I was tossed out. I've been educated to the point of A-level. I've studied. I want to give back. I have many skills that I acquired both as a young man when I was back home and through all this period. We're not here to take people's benefits. We want to work, but we're not allowed to work. You know what I'm saying? We want to give back to the society. We want to integrate and show you what our side of the world is about as well. We want to teach you about our world as well, but it's difficult when the rhetoric is hostile environment and it's all lies about immigrants doing this, doing that. It's a shame that the world is the way it is now, especially the UK.
I don't understand this crazy system where people are made destitute, they're put out on the street, they're denied any income for food, and then a few weeks or a few months later, back in the system again. All of a sudden they exist again, and then they go through the asylum process once more. So it's a crazy system, it's a very damaging system because destitution is a very damaging experience both mentally and physically, and people the people that have come to the UK to seek international protection, they've already been through trauma. What happened in their country, the journey that they had to undertake to get here, the things that happened to them while they're here, and then they become destitute. So it's trauma upon trauma upon trauma. And so the system is destroying people.
If they can put you in a place far away enough here in terms of being psychologically compass mentors, then they've won, because you're gonna do something crazy, then oh, you see, look at that. But I don't wanna be that zone. And I'm lucky enough here that, like I said to you before, I promised myself and I told myself that I'm gonna survive this no matter what. It's something that I never thought I'd go through, but I'll tell you now, I thought claiming asylum was the hardest thing I did in 30 years, but trying to keep compass mentors, a focused mind, keep your brain going, functioning positively, is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.